Welcome to After Dark at the Fix Stops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the After Dark show. Tonight we started a little bit early, and that is because we have the most amazing panels. Tonight we are joined by the Best Practice Awards winners. So we have Les Silver, Executive Chairman of Dynatron Software, Jim Roche, Founder and CEO of WarcLoud, Scott Berdelman, sorry, is that correct?
It is.
It's a little different on the email. Who is VP of Sales of WarCloud, Aaron Waters, President and OEM of OEM Interactive, and Tully Williams, Fixed Ops Director of the Nilo Company. And we have John Traver on here. Yes, we do. He hopped on right now. CEO of Traver Connect.
Wow, what a crowd. So tell me, I think we called this the Legends panel last time we got together. What do you say?
We sure did. My God, isn't it great to see all these great superstars?
Yeah, so many of them. Katrina, thank you so much. Everybody, Katrina Ness and Vanessa Collins from Northwood University with us tonight. And we're very humbled. Tonight is the last night of the Avengers show. We have our best practice winners with us. We decided to go on early tonight since we have everybody assembled. So Avengers assemble, and sure they do. So here we are. So I know Katrina and Vanessa, you got some questions tonight for our amazing talent that we've got on the screen with us here.
We do. We're excited.
All right. So with that, John, we thought we'd come to you with the first question. John at Traver Connect.
Yeah. So,
Yep,
I guess,
here they come, Tully.
briefly tell us a little bit about what you do, your new products, and just a little bit about the company.
What do I do? Well, it's we. There's more than one of us. My background in business development, the early version of business development was focused on the front end of the dealership. You both just went through the academy, right? So showroom floor, quality showroom traffic, appointment-based business. The Traver Connect is the second company I had in automotive. And the idea here originated around something similar, but in fixed. And obviously there's been a retention problem for a long time. So it starts with the phones. So we create solutions, Vanessa, around answering those calls. So whether it's providing software and tracking for a store that wants to build their own, what do they say in Missouri? The show me state. We can do it better than others. And so there are some stores that would much rather build their own. And so that's one of our tasks is how do we automate some of that for them? How do we speed up that process? Others look at the cost savings and say, look, you're doing this for a third of the cost. So can you do this for us? And then still others are doing a blend. So that's kind of blocking and tackling. That's kind of the fundamentals of business development for service. But then beyond that, we go a little bit deeper. We've had about 8 or 9 years of recall efforts where, the obvious is the list, the call to action and bringing that vehicle in safely. But where we are today is a little bit deeper around the experience itself. And that is specifically in pickup and delivery combined with the outbound effort. So we have partnered with a transport company that actually does the moves. The problem we have in the stores today is not the idea of pickup and delivery. We have a need for pre-owned vehicles and we have a need to retail new. And so the concept of retention moves kind of puts a bow around all three of those. So we handle the campaign, the targeted list, we handle the day of the moves. So we sort of concierge desk that move, pizza tracker for the vehicle, the drivers, the whole thing. And so that is our next undertaking. And I would say that I wouldn't say we're down the road on this. I think there's probably some things we're going to have to figure out as we continue to work this out. But what I like about it is pickup and delivery is not new, right, guys? I mean, we've all done it, right, over the last decade. So that's not new. Retention is not a new issue. We're all chasing it. pre-owned, the need for quality pre-owned, it's hitting a sore spot. And then retailing units. And lastly, the customer experience. So in between there, we have some training products. We partner with a few OEMs that we've been with for quite a long time. And then the data, we've worked hard with the data around that whole experience. So kind of redefining business development each year, as it evolves. So how's that for an opener?
Awesome.
Pretty good, John. And
Okay.
John, you really went over the top at this last event because you showed us how to find those missing hours, and I was very impressed at that entire presentation. Tully and you and I had a detailed conversation about that, and I think it was like 1.9 million, Tully, that John found.
It was a huge deal, and I tell you, the theme, I started to tear up. I just want you to know, John, it was awesome. You did an unbelievable job.
I just want to say one thing, and I'm real curious to see what Jim Roche says about this. The missing ROs, we trended up and to the right for 6 years in a row, and COVID, the pandemic happens, and we're short. We go from 315 million repair orders written in the United States to 265 million in 2020, which is understandable. We were kind of closed for a while, but you would think the pendulum's going to swing back, especially looking back, right? And I even did a show for TED on this and said, look for these extra calls, look for these extra ROs. And what I would tell our audience that's here tonight is they haven't come back. So we could sit here and talk about where did they go. The bottom line is they're missing. You could say, well, that's because of new cars. We don't sell 50 million new cars a year. That's the problem. And not 100% of the new cars we sell come to the drive. We're missing some vehicles. So you're seeing car counts in stores that don't have an initiative down about 8 to 10 cars a day. If you're tracking, you're probably hearing that. There are some stores, somebody reached out to me recently who touches a lot of stores, and he asked me if I saw it. I said I did, and you're down about 13% across the industry. And he said, I find there are still some stores that are up. And I said, well, yeah, Michael Jordan was kind of up too. You know what I mean? It's when you have enough of these initiatives going on, you're going to be ahead, but the mean average is not a good picture. So there's an opportunity there for us.
Jim, I know you track this stuff very carefully, and you always bring us some great data and great data points at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. What are some of your thoughts on that RO count situation?
Well, thank you, Ted and John. I think if you look at warranty, I think that's where the bright spot is in terms of fixed ops over the next couple of years. We're projecting between now and 2026 a 19.7% increase in warranty for the dealer. And that'll be driven primarily by two things. One, we're going to sell over the next couple of years millions more new vehicles, which means millions more warranty covered vehicles on the road. And unlike CP, 100% of warranty work comes to the dealer. So that's that's a gimme. And the other thing that is really, really interesting is JD Power has published some unexpected data. They've been tracking the warranty costs on electric vehicles. And what it shows is that the warranty costs on electric vehicles runs about 300% higher than internal combustion engines. Well, we're bringing over 150 new EVs to market over the next couple of years. So those two things combined are going to drive up warranty revenue for the dealer. And frankly, I think 19.7% is probably going to be a bit conservative. So there's an offset to some of the lost CP. As everyone on the call would tell you that dealers have a trust and a price gap when it comes to consumers and CP sales, and they've got to close that trust and price gap.
Well, pretty fascinating, John. Jim always has some spectacular reasoning and answers, and John, it actually makes a lot of sense, some of the things that Jim is saying, and it's actually mind-boggling when he shows us the difference on EVs on warranty dollars now and forecast into the next, let's say, 5 or so years, John.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
Jim, tell us briefly about WarcLoud. So congratulations. I know you've got a new plateau with numbers that you're hitting, but tell us what you do, because you do some unique things in that space with AI.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. Let me tell you what, before I tell you what WarcLoud, let me tell you why, because that's really the important aspect. You know, the average dealership fixed operations drives over 50% of total dealership gross profit. Revenue in fixed operations has two primary revenue streams, as we just discussed: warranty and CP, or customer pay. And warranty is the one area where we see significant rise coming. But because warranty claims processing is one of the few areas of the dealership that heretofore have been untouched by automation, the manual process to submit claims to the manufacturer consumes 12% on average of the gross profit from the warranty work, which is a huge bite out of that revenue stream. So what WarcLoud is it's the industry's first and only technical platform that automates warranty claims processing, drives more revenue for the dealer, reduces the cost of claims processing by over 50%, gets claims turnarounds in 24 hours, and improves the OEM dashboard score. So it's sort of your technology, faster, better, cheaper. That's kind of it in a nutshell.
So I thought this was unique in that maybe 2 events ago, back at the event we did back in May, I think it was back to the 80s, Jim. One of the videos that you ran as a video commercial, you decided to do a little spin on the game show Jeopardy! And using that to explain what WarcLoud does. So, Jim, I have an abbreviated version. Do you mind if I show that tonight to help explain what WarcLoud does?
Do.
All right. So again, this is a shortened version, but it'll give you a little taste with some fun of the WarcLoud solution.
Thank you, Ted Ings, and welcome everyone to WarcLoud Jeopardy, where the objective is, as always, is to optimize your profit. Please welcome Corey Roberts and Scott Berdelman. Our board today: Category 1, Mission Impossible, Numbers Don't Lie, Man versus Machine, and with them, What's in it for me? Let's go to the board. Corey.
Jim, I'll take Mission Impossible for 100.
Mission Impossible for 100. Previously thought impossible, it is the only company that processes warranty claims in mere seconds.
Jim, who is WarcLoud?
That's correct.
So, John, the answers to all the questions, I didn't play them all. The answers, you guessed it, were WarcLoud.
Who would have thought?
That's awesome. So AI has really developed recently. It's becoming way more apparent. Every single day, I feel like I hear something new about it. So how has this really been benefiting WarcLoud?
Yeah, thank you, Katrina. The core of WarcLoud is driven by a series of what we call bots, AI-driven bots. Each bot represents a claim, and when it gets the repair order, it knows what the manufacturer needs to see on every repair order, but it also knows all of the alternatives, permutations, additional charges. You can get $20 here, you can get $50 there. And what it does is when it digests the RO, it matches up with the proper claims and then verifies that the dealer is getting every tenth that they are entitled to. That's one of the ways that we follow Tully's mantra of, it's all about the hours. We get as many hours as we can because nothing aggravates a technician more when they have to do something. And then the warranty clerk, because they're too busy or they forgot about a code, they don't apply for it.
Yeah, so it eliminates human error and gets you back your hours. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And Scott, you play a big part of that as VP of Sales at WarcLoud. So did Jim have you prep for that Jeopardy game? How did that all happen?
Yeah, it took a couple of shoots for us to get it right, Ted, but we had a lot of fun doing it and really highlighting the benefits that come with WarcLoud. And, Tully, I know you love the hours, but, Jim touched on that. And it's one of the real benefits of our software is that it literally follows the rules and guidelines of the OEM, ensuring every time we process a claim, we capture every tenth of an hour, every admin allowance, even down to trim level and model of the vehicle. So, we're doing stuff that others haven't done. As Jim said, we're the first and only ones to do it, and we're really seeing great benefit, on average about 103 additional hours per month for our dealers.
Love it. And John, we're seeing some AI now creeping into the phones and the communication part at the dealership as well. I don't know if you want to speak to any of that, but it is fascinating to watch all this play out, John.
It is. What I love about it is the evolution. And what's most interesting for me is watching the consumer have a say in it. It works. It doesn't work for everyone, but it does work. And there's a percentage that will embrace that process. There are certain markets where I would say it's almost mandatory. High volume, large metropolitan markets where you have a high volume store, but that doesn't mean it's limited there. I do think there's a curve for AI. So that's just on the inbound call, but there are other places you can use AI to expedite the process. Outbound, VINs, time mileage recommendations, all different ways you can leverage data to be working for you through code. So what's interesting is somebody once said in the 1800s, it was really about labor, and in the 1900s it was about capital, and in the 2000s it's about code. And you can kind of see that sort of evolve, right? Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
That is fascinating. Tully, do you want to weigh in on any of this? Because this all impacts the hours, everything we're hearing tonight.
It does. It's great. Hey, I just want to say it's an honor to be with my good friend Jim and John Traver. What they talked about in the beginning is spot on. When you look at for the lost repair orders, and then Jim talked about the lost warranty and what warranty has, a great example for us, I would say, is probably our Volkswagen store. And you have to be careful and look at lost repair orders, because what happens is warranty takes up your capacity. And what happens is, and then what you do is you push off customer pay. And the biggest thing we have to be careful of is that if we have a great recall, we don't say stop all customer pay and future customers for life. What we do is we take all those warranty in, which is sometimes can be a one-shot wonder. And I think that we have to be careful of making sure that when we have those great warranty claims, is that we have enough time to make sure we don't lose those repair orders, like John Traver said, and lose that customers. Because here's what, we are in the repeat and referral business. And if we lose those customers, we lose it. So my holy grail and what we're chasing is a retention number. Our target is 70% for all of our stores and higher. And that's the target. And some stores struggle a little bit more than others, right? And I think, they have to be on that game of every customer has to come in the shop. And one thing that was interesting that Jim said about warranty is that you have these car companies that got into the EV market. God bless every one of those, right? We're out in California, so we sell a tremendous amount, but it is stabilizing. But Volkswagen is the key issue to that. Acura, when we look at our warranty dollars, 16%, maybe 12%. And when you look at Volkswagen, it's 32%. It's almost like we're back in the 80s, right? And why is that? Because EV cars break great. And I think now as warranties extend a little bit longer and take in more things, and EV cars, we're still in that beta test and fixing, right? So it's a great thing to be in. But I think the key issue of what Jim and John's both said is that we're in the retention business. That is the key issue. And how do we stay in that business and making sure we treat every customer with respect and honor to come back?
Very strong. Jim Roche and John Traver. Tully, I'll use the word anchors, okay, as well here at the roundtable, okay, because they're no stranger to it. They've won the best practice award previously, and we can always count on them to come in and deliver some amazing segments. Scott Berdelman, welcome to the crew, okay, at WarrCloud. We've heard a lot about you. Aaron Waters, new man on the scene this year. With your second Fixed Ops Roundtable at OEM Interactive. Congratulations on the Best Practice Award, Aaron. Tell us a little bit more about OEM Interactive and what you do, because I think everyone wants to hear.
Thank you, Ted. And first and foremost, I want to go back to one of the first things that you said, this being the Legends panel. I am humbled and grateful to be here amongst legends. I am an acorn amongst mighty oaks here. So I am very thrilled to be here, very humbled, very grateful. And so thank you to all of you for having us here. OEM Interactive, we've been around now. I think we're in year 6 or 7. We just were announced to Inc. 5000, one of the fastest growing companies in the U.S. this past year. We're on track to hopefully, hit that again here in 2023, 2024. Really thrilled about that. That is just a product of our people, our partners is our purpose. That is our theme and our philosophy here at OEM Interactive. What we are, who we are a group of marketing and fixed operations professionals and experts. We've been in the industry for quite some time. Myself, I've cut my teeth in the industry on the car sales marketing side. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies since for about 15, almost 20 years now, before I started OEM Interactive. But we work with companies who are looking to sell parts and accessories online. If it's OE, aftermarket, power sports, RV, golf carts, whatever you can think of, we're in that parts and accessory space. We're working with those companies to help them get a presence online and get them set up to sell more of those items. It's 24/7, 365-day operation, and it's just in a booming industry. And we're really happy to be in it and happy to help our partners. We've got an amazing team at OEM Interactive. I couldn't be more happy and grateful and thankful to work with them and to work with our partners.
And Aaron, you're in that, not just the parts space, you mentioned online parts. Online parts is really hot right now, Aaron. There are a lot of dealers who are now selling parts online. There's been historically the front counter, the back counter, then there was wholesale parts, but online parts is a brave new world, and that's really where the action is taking place, Aaron.
Yeah, it really is. And it's everybody wants to get into the space and they're not quite sure how to go about that and the best practices. And a lot of times it's, okay, guys, we've got this great idea. Here's this website, go sell. And it's like on top of everything else that the team is doing. And they're not used to the online space, how that dialogue takes place. They are, but in a lot of cases they're not, right? We're all online consumers. So we understand how to place orders and go through that process. So we kind of have to take a few steps back and teach best practices, understand every dealership, every parts department's operations. There's lots of parallels, but every department, every parts manager has a unique set of goals. And we really have to be cognizant of that. Right. And so we really take a lot of time to peel back the layers, get a good understanding of what they're trying to achieve. Are they trying to achieve $10,000 in additional revenue or additional sales per month? Or are they trying to achieve $1 million per month? And it's a big, there's a big gap in there, right? So we have to really peel back the layers on that and understand that and work with them to build the best system, build the best process to achieve those goals. It is not all about marketing, right? Our team is, like I said, is comprised of marketing professionals and fixed operations professionals. We've got guys that have been general managers at dealerships, fixed operations managers, parts managers, service managers, parts warehouse people. It's a really great bunch of individuals that understand the industry and understand what you're going through, have gone through it, and work with your teams to achieve those goals. So it's a lot of fun. We love working with our partners. We love the industry, and like I said, it's a 365-day, 24-hour, 7 days a week operation. When you're online, you're always open. So lots of opportunity. We're always here to help. What we talked about in the last roundtable was trying to give that time back And over the years, we've talked to so many people, and one of the most frequently asked questions that I was always getting from either our people or our partners was, how can we get more time back? How can we cut down on phone calls? How can we cut back on emails? Because in a lot of cases, the parts department with these online websites are actually receiving, in some cases, more inquiries than the sales department. And when they're doing 5,000-6,000 plus orders a month, that's a lot of customers. And look at how big your parts department is. How many phone calls is that? So we created Parts Messenger Pro to try to streamline conversations and be able to put one counter person or somebody working on the phones, give them the ability to handle 8, 9, 10 conversations at once, so they could give more time back. And it's literally saving parts managers thousands of dollars a month in overhead with people getting off the phones, and from a customer experience as well. Who likes to be put on hold? I don't think it, right? And especially when it's your car, you're trying to figure out what's wrong with it. I need this part. Thank you for calling XYZ Parts Department. Can you hold, please?
Hey, Jim, I got a question for you. As recently as maybe 2.5 years ago, we didn't see a whole lot on parts at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Jim. It's all service. And now parts is like mainstream. It's like every second or third segment is parts. There's parts panels, new parts mindset, wholesale parts, all different things happening in parts. Jim, why is it that parts has not gotten a lot of love in our industry over the years?
That's a great question. I mean, fixed operations is primarily made up of service and parts. So why not the love? I think to a certain degree, it's like service overall. It's an unglamorous part of the business. I mean, inventory, invoicing, optimization are all things that, don't make the heart beat faster necessarily, unless you're the parts manager. And I think that's part of it. But now, now that it's stopped raining money in the industry, dealers are looking, hopefully in every corner, Tully loves that one, in every corner for ways to optimize profit. And they're going to look at the less exciting parts of the business, because there's huge opportunity there, whether it's parts or frankly, warranty. Scott has multiple times been a fixed ops director at large dealer groups. So, Scott, you should weigh in on why parts historically hasn't gotten a lot of love.
Yeah, I think, it's one of those departments that not a lot of people understand in full. And so it tends to not get the attention that it really does deserve, because it is an important part of hand in hand with the service department to create a really strong, profitable operation that pays dividends month in and month out.
Yeah, good point. And I looked at your resume, Scott. You write some big groups. There's one, I believe, up in the Minnesota area where you spent some time as well.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I've been up here for about 22 years and worked for some really nice organizations, but I'm happy to be back with Jim on the WarrCloud team.
Yep. I see our great friend David O'Brien from Quantum 5 is in the chat, and very appreciative to Dave for all that he does in our industry as well. And Dave, you belong on the Legends panel as well. You've been on here with us in the past. So Tully, I know you're kind of chomping at the bit. Ask you for your perspective, and then I want to go back to Katrina and Vanessa for theirs as well.
Well, parts department is a key issue. I think that if you forget about the parts department, I mean, it's again, what like John said, is that it's not glamorous, right? Their job is to do what? Manage the inventory. Don't let it get old. But really, if we don't sell parts, we don't sell hours. And I tell you, if you don't have your parts counter people, your parts managers working with your service and service writers as one team, don't separate them out. Pay plans are merged together. What happens? You won't be successful. So parts sells hours. John Traver calls customers to come in to put what on? Special order parts. John Traver calls recalls to put parts on, right? If we can't get warranty to pay for the parts, it doesn't work. Everything has to be tied together. And the worst thing that ever happened in the 70s and 80s where parts and service managers would argue about who pays for freight. Those days are over. We don't care about freight, right? All we care about is how fast can we get the part. And guess what we have? We have parts counter people running out to the technician to give them parts. Because why? It produces hours and gets everybody paid and their bonus done. So parts department is a crucial element to make a fixed ops department successful. It's not parts and service, it's fixed ops department.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Tully. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments here, talking no parts, no hours. Yes, it is an unglamorous place. It's always like in the back. You got to keep going back, and then you finally find it. And but without the parts, you don't get the hours. And then also, it reminds me of an old analogy that I used to work in the hospitality industry years and years ago. The dishwasher and dish, section is the heart and soul of the restaurant. No dishes, no food, no customers, no tips. Nobody makes any money. So it's the same thing. You think of those unglamorous places, but those unglamorous areas really are the heart and soul of the of your operation, and those are the areas that you really have to nurture and spend that time nurturing the team, the experience, the efficiencies, the systems, everything in there. And the more that you can nurture those areas, the more it's going to yield you so much in the long term. So I love what you guys are saying. I couldn't agree more.
Aaron, I'm going to use that, by the way. I like that. That was strong.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in the year, high volume, family style Italian restaurant, and you gotta don't have plates. You can't, you can't serve the customers, and no spaghetti. And I was never afraid to get my hands dirty. They'd see me back there, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm getting stuff out here, guys. Like, we're all a team, and my job is no more important than yours. We all work collectively together for the same common mission, right? So it's you just gotta get in there. Yeah.
All right, back to the Northwood students for your input.
That's awesome. So I'm an automotive marketing and management major, but I'm in a hospitality elective right now. So I'm in the same boat with you.
Mm-hmm.
I have the tiniest bit of hospitality knowledge now. But Aaron, so the progression in your company over the past couple of years, as you were describing, that is very, very impressive. So there's lots of room for growth in the future as well. So where do you see a lot of growth possibilities? And then also, what do you hope stays the same? What do you hope never changes in OEM Interactive?
I think that there's a lot of growth. That's a great question. There's a lot of growth. I like change. I embrace change. I do not like to be complacent. Whether it's in my morning routine, in my morning workouts, whatever it is, I embrace change. We're always thinking of change, and if my father is watching here, he'll be texting me at some point, but because I used to call him this endless book of quotations, but he used to say, fail to prepare, then be prepared to fail. And so we're always thinking, okay, what if scenarios? What if this? What if this? And what do you see coming down the line? So we embrace change. We're looking for more change. But in terms for us, what our plans are, we've got a lot of things in the pipeline right now, and we're really excited about that. Parts Messenger Pro, we launched that about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it's been a huge success for our partners. We do the annual Parts Messenger Pro Awards. We'll be announcing our winners here right after the first of the year. We give out 10 Best Practice Award winners every year. So this year will be the second year of that. We're going to be, I don't want to get into I don't want to give you guys too much of a peek inside the curtain of what we're doing. But a lot of, we're going to be focusing a lot on more training and hiring. That's going to be a big focus for us in the years to come, because it's just I hear the same things with all of our partners. It's getting time back, finding the right people. When you lose somebody, you got to shut down the online stores or cut back on it. That's costing them a lot of money. And we need to be training people better and nurturing for the long term. And the start, in my mind, and once again, I'm an acorn amongst mighty oaks here. So I hear a lot of people talking about the problems now, and we've got to fix this. But I don't think that it starts there. I think it starts with individuals like you, Katrina and Vanessa. We have to start back here so that we can really put a spotlight on fixed operations and highlight it, and what the career paths look like, and what we can do to show individuals coming out of high school or not quite sure what they wanted, 18, 19, 20 years old, and show them, hey, there's a lot of great things that this industry has to offer. And there's some amazing leaders and mentors in this space. And I think if we do that and continue to nurture the industries, it's going to make a bit of a you're going to get less of the revolving door effect, if you will. And so we've got a little bit of that going on here, and we're going to announce some of that at NADA. So more things to come.
All right.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. And great show tonight. We started a little bit early. I thought that was appropriate since we have a lot of talent here tonight. Thanksgiving is just hours away. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and to you and your families and your corporate families as well. So congratulations to all the winners. Aaron Waters at OEM Interactive, Scott Berdelman at WarrCloud. Congratulations to you on the Best Practice Award. Tully Williams at the Nilo Company. Congratulations. And Tully, I hope everybody, maintained this hours thing, because I think they did a great job at the event with that.
They did a great job.
Yeah. So Jim Roche at WarrCloud, repeat winner. So congratulations to you as well, Jim.
Thank you.
I know, well deserved. And our great friend, John Traver. John, thank you for all you do. Congratulations again on the award. And we're, so grateful to have you as part of the roundtable, John.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ted. Thanks for leading so well. It's amazing to see where this thing stands after 3 years, isn't it, everyone? It's incredible. And the community, the quality of people, is to be commended. Great job. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving to this fellow in the chat, Dan Santalucia, as well. Congratulations. Katrina and Vanessa,
Superman.
thank you so much. And happy Thanksgiving to you. And appreciate all that you do for the industry, and Northwood does. So everybody, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you back here again shortly, and very grateful to give thanks for all that we have in our industry. So congratulations, everybody.
Thank you, Ted. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks, Ted.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.